Welcome to the Commercial Kitchen Chronicles, the podcast dedicated to commercial food equipment repair industry. My name is Pat Finley. I'm a lead master certified technician at General Parts Group and a certified special trainer. Our goal is to shine a light on what we believe to be one of the most interesting and rewarding industries a field service technician can work in. We love the work we do, and we are glad you're here listening to this podcast. This episode, we have Rachel, also known as MissMiniSplit.
Yeah, I'm fine.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Commercial Kitchen Chronicles. Tonight, I'm joined by Jason Latimer, whatever Rich's name is tonight, and very special guest Rachel. You guys may know her as MissMiniSplit, and we're going to talk about how she got into the trades and how she's ended up specializing in mini splits. So, thanks for coming on, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome, Rachel.
Thank you. Yeah, it's such an honor to be here, really, because I really don't think of myself as somebody that anybody wants to know anything about or whatever. I'm just out here.
Well, we follow you.
Whatever.
No, we enjoy your content. We enjoy seeing some of the stuff you get into and some of the off the wall stuff you post. A little bit different, but it's kind of funny. So
yeah, there are a lot of people out there doing instructionals and how-tos, educational, know-it-all and HVAC school and everybody who's out there. So I don't really have a lot to contribute on top of those guys, So everything else is random stuff basically.
So,
I like showing the more human side of HVAC, I guess.
Yeah, and you do a good job of that. I like it. Your video about why do you always have 3 right hand gloves and no left hand gloves? I was laughing at. And then she found her glove in a pile of trash somewhere, and it was pretty funny. So.
Exactly.
So let's give anybody a little bit of background, like where you're located. I see it's nice and bright and sunny in the background. And there's green leaves and trees, so you're nowhere near us or me, anyways.
Yeah. Right now I live in San Diego.
Nice.
Yeah, a little bit kind of I live in a part of the San Diego, a little bit east inland where it almost snows.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Almost. She said almost. That's funny. So how long have you been in the HVAC industry?
I started in 2016. Yeah.
Nice. So
I actually was a terrible waitress. Looking for something else to do.
So you went from waitress to HVAC. That's quite a jump. How'd you make that one?
Yeah, I was a preschool teacher right before HVAC. I was a waitress, then I was a preschool teacher, and then I was really handy. I was dating this guy who was in construction, and so I would like borrow his tools to fix random things around the preschool. And I was like, hey, I should do construction. I think I'd be good at this. And he was like, no, you can't. You're going to be working next to a bunch of sweaty dudes all day. It's like, it's not for women. I was like, okay.
Oh.
There's more to the story than that. But eventually I was like, I broke up with him and I was like, I'm going to do HVAC or I'm going to go into construction. And then in a roundabout way, I ended up in HVAC. Actually, the person who got me into HVAC, I don't know if you guys have ever seen, not to like name drop, but I'm totally going to name drop right now because it didn't even occur to me that I think it's really interesting that the person who got me into HVAC, have you guys ever watched Alone on Netflix, the survival show? It's kind of like the new version of Survivor. Isn't it?
Oh, is that the one where they like go out in the wilderness and
yeah.
Oh yeah,
I've seen that. Yeah.
I've seen that one. Yep.
I'm still halfway through Naked and Afraid, so I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, it's one of those shows. It's called Alone, and one of the guys, who I think he almost won, he got second place. His name is Biko, and so back in the day, Biko and I used to work at a restaurant together in LA, and that was when I wanted to, and that was when I was looking for a job. I didn't want to like waitress or whatever, and this was after the restaurant, and so anyway, I was like, hey, do you? I don't remember how. Anyway, he got me in HVAC. I worked with him at an HVAC company for a while. Yeah, and then he left,
That's cool.
and then I moved on, and now I'm here.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You see Brian's comment down there? That's our wild
It's
our wild audience.
really long story with a lot of details, but I feel like the details are really boring.
Oh,
I like
sorry.
your videos because it's like the day in the life, and you know
Mhm.
there are people who want to do tutorials and break stuff down. I like to do, you know, just what I'm doing and add some music and entertain. But you know, a lot of us just like to just show our day, and that's inspiring enough for a lot of people, to be honest. You know, they don't
Yeah.
need all the
Yeah.
details. They just need to know that you can make a living. Looks like you're having fun. You're not killing yourself. You know, you have some sort of
Yeah.
life, and you will open people's minds. You know, so.
Yeah, I try to keep mine as a mix of
Mhm.
everything. Just have fun with it. You know, if you don't have fun with it, you're not going to keep doing it. And if you're not, you know, having
True.
fun, you're not going to put up the decent content or good content. So I try to have fun. You know, some days it's more fun than others. Some days it's secondhand fun. So uh, it is what it
Yeah.
is. But so how'd you end up
Yeah.
specializing in? Good. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, I was just asking, how you end up specializing in mini splits. Did you always just do mini splits, or did you end up there? Or?
No, I actually, I'm pretty honestly, there are probably a lot of techs out there, just regular techs who have a lot more experience with mini splits than I do. I just wanted to only do mini splits, so I was like, okay, I'll just make my Instagram Miss Mini Split, and I had been doing a lot of mini splits because that's just what I was getting calls for. Well, I was doing some apartment buildings out here, and so all the apartment buildings are mini splits, but I mean, I do a lot of other stuff. I do Central. I do all of it. And actually, another
Yeah.
reason why I was kind of excited to be on your podcast was because I really, when I very first started back in LA, with the contractor that I was worked with Bico with, he did refrigeration, and so like 50% of what I did when I first started was refrigeration, and I loved it. I in fact, before I started doing uh, uh, splits, before I had kids, I had a job at a refrigeration company, and then I got pregnant, so I had to like, quit working for somebody, and then but I wanted to get into refrigeration, and I still would really like to. I think about it all the time.
Yeah,
Nice,
there's
nice.
days I wish I didn't.
Brian is wilding in the comments right now about an
You
ice
know,
covered roof. Almost made him do a
Oh,
Mr. Big Split. Brian is wilding
oh,
today. I'm sorry.
I didn't know that I could look at comments. Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
Rachel, are you using a Wi-Fi signal?
I'm using yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. I think I'm
Okay,
connected to my
on
house
my end,
Wi-Fi.
it's just cutting it out.
it's
Just,
cutting in and
Yeah,
out.
it was cutting
It's
in and out a little bit.
little pixely.
it's not
Oh,
too bad. It's
Yeah,
coming and going. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's better now.
it's starting to.
so it's better to
Maybe
do not the Wi-Fi, your house, your home, yourself.
if you have
It
decent
depends on
cell
how
signal.
strong your signal is. If you're in your vehicle, I'm not sure how close you are to your Wi-Fi signal. It's just been, it's all been pixely for some portions, and then your vocal's been cutting in and out. We just want to make sure we hear your whole story correctly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that's just the technology getting sick of me. Your computer, this person.
All right. I'm just looking at something here.
So what made you take that switch from refrigeration to doing straight or mostly residential HVAC?
Oh, well, I didn't really learn enough on refrigeration to be able to do it on my own. Um, so yeah, that's the only thing that's stopping me right now. Is that I just don't have that experience in the kitchen. Yeah, but if I did, I would absolutely be doing that right now. I'd be servicing every restaurant in my town.
Cool. Did you miss any actual cooking equipment at all, or was it refrigeration when you were doing that?
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it was mostly cooling. Yeah, mostly walk-ins and uh yeah, like the company that I worked at did a lot of like Rite Aids and chain like franchise type places that had reach-ins and walk-ins type of thing. I didn't really
Okay.
get a lot of experience on the hot side. With my first job, I did get some experience with hot side, but I only apprenticed with him for about 6 months, so it really wasn't and it was like my first 6 months in the trade, so I really didn't learn. Yeah, the bulk of my experience has been in residential HVAC, but yeah, I like to watch HVACR videos to kind of brush up or whatever, or to see what's going on out there, so that one day maybe I'll get into refrigeration again.
Yeah, I would say refrigeration and ice machines. That's my happy place. Like, I'll fix anything in a restaurant, but put me in front of like the most complicated walk-in or the most complicated ice maker, and I'm like, peace, like Zen or whatever they call that junk. I'm just like, I'm in it 100%.
I had fun today, man. I had a little under-counter ice machine, and like I had a trainee with me, and I was doing a PM, and I was like, I don't care how long this takes. I'm showing this dude how to clean this ice machine, and like, we started off by running descaler through it, and then we pulled it out, pulled the top off, and like stripped it completely down, dude. And like he'd bring it back, and like I'd rotate the part over, be like, look, there's still crap there, go clean it again. I'm like, it's not going in here until it's perfectly clean. He's like, well, I can't get it off. I was like, well, let's come back in here, get some more descaler, and poured some on there and scratched it off. He's like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. And it was actually kind of a fun day, just like taking my time and like showing him how to properly do it. Now, hopefully he remembers how to do it the next time. But
yes, yesterday, it was pretty cool for me yesterday because I used to do a lot of Hoshizaki when I was in Florida. So a coworker of mine, he calls me. He's like, hey, I'm just double checking. This Hoshizaki has no power. I'm like, bin switch. Like, he didn't even finish his sentence. I'm like, bin switch.
Yeah.
He's like, huh? I'm like, just jump out the bin switch. It's bad. He tested. He's like, oh, snap. You're right. I'm like, yeah. Told you, that's my happy place, bro. Especially Hoshizaki. I love Hoshizaki.
Especially Hoshizaki.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you Pat, you work for a company. Rich, you work for a company. And Jason, do you work for a company or you don't? Oh, okay.
I do.
Oh, wow.
So
he kind of works.
Me and Rich technically work for the same corporation, just different like brands.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jason stays in bed drinking cocktails till 9 a.m.
Dropping his phone on his face.
Lies.
So when are you guys gonna strike out on your own?
I probably won't. I've got it pretty made what I do, so
we're living vicariously through Rich's ambition and his daily.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh, now you want
accusations being made.
So we all have aspirations.
I've got my what I want to do is I really want to teach and instruct, and so striking on my own wouldn't really help me with that. So, and that's my goal. So I want to be an instructor. I want to develop some training for in-depth hot side and some refrigeration stuff. I teach a little bit of refrigeration now, just basic, but I'd like to get a little more advanced, do some more things. So for what I want to do, there's not really a reason for me to strike out on my own. Maybe 10 years ago before I got in this role, I would have probably thought about it, but now I got it pretty made doing what I do.
Yeah, no, I'd be the one to strike out on my own out of the three of us for sure, because
I've
got it in me. I just want to like build something great, and I'm not going to be able to do that unless I call the shots. So that's kind of what it is.
Yeah. How many years in the trade do you have right now, Rich?
Just about 20.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, you should do it.
Yeah, I know a thing or two.
She's like, that math.
A couple things. That math.
So do you
regular
own your
math
own
and Common Core math?
So do you own your own business then?
Yeah, since 2020. Yeah, after only 5 years in the trade. Yeah. That's the minimum requirement in California. You have to be in for 5 years.
That's inspiring. That's awesome.
So what made you want to go out on your own versus working for anybody?
Oh, I am a terrible employee. I just,
she can admit it, Rich. See,
I made a post on my private Facebook the other day saying, you know what, I'm just a bad employee.
Go ahead, Rachel.
Go ahead, Rachel.
Oh, there you go. You know what? I felt really bad, really guilty for taking too long, for all the mistakes I'd make, for costing my company money. And it was really like the guilt was was what made me want to work for myself. And that way I was only liable like to myself. And I felt like if I worked for myself too, that maybe my somehow it would force me to be better, even though I feel like one thing that has made me a lot better of a tech or installer than a lot of other people is not like I'm particularly skilled or more intelligent than anybody, but just that I care a lot more. Um, and so but I felt like I was pretty good working for somebody, but being on my own was going to force me to develop my skill even more too. Yeah, and plus, like I said, I just didn't want to cause other people problems anymore, and I just felt like I that would just kept happening as an employee, and I was always like that. I don't know, I was always very difficult.
See,
Okay.
my being a bad employee is kind of the opposite. I look at stuff going on and I'm like, bro, I could do this 1,000 times better than you, and you won't listen to me. So I'm gonna have to prove it because I'm the type of person like I understand rules, but if rule doesn't make sense, it just doesn't apply to me, and it's not gonna happen. And that's not always the best thing, you know.
So on
Yeah.
both sides of that, I would say standards. You both have standards, and that's where what's pushing you. So for some people, it's I found that I was talking to a technician today, and they were talking about wanting to be on their own eventually. I'm like, well, you work for a corporation. This is the time to make those mistakes because it's not everybody can afford. If you
Right.
blow up a piece of equipment, tell them what you just you own up. You tell them what you learned. You're not going to do it again, and you move on. But those kind of mistakes you can't make out the door, with just starting on your own. And you need to learn in a somewhat of a in controlled environment with somebody, to help
With a
you and
safety net.
mentor with a safety net and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so yeah, just wanted to say that. Yeah, you both are definitely prime for that. So
Yeah, I like that reasoning. Just to force yourself to be better. I mean, that's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, that is really cool.
I found
Yeah.
that posting my stuff on the internet forced me to be better, forced me
Yeah.
to double check what I was doing. Because I didn't want the trolls to come at me, and they still come at me. And now I make posts. Now I make posts to get the trolls to come after me. So it's come full circle.
I just told my guy that, my lead installer today. I was like, hey, we need to do this because I'm going to take a picture for Instagram.
Oh yeah, I used to be bad. I used to delete the negative comments, and people are like, "Don't do that." I'm like, "Why? Like it hurts your algorithm. Just leave it in there." So like, I'll go and like give their comment a big heart, or a thumbs up, or a like, and
Yeah.
it is what it is. It
and
happens.
tick them off some more.
Oh yeah,
See, sarcasm is my friend when it comes to the negative comments.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I told y'all that. Y'all know that guy on LinkedIn that is
Oh, yeah.
always trying to comment his negative viewpoint. And I put a
Software
post
is
about
dumb. Software's dumb.
no, not that guy. No,
Oh,
the
no.
other guy.
Okay.
I think you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I don't want to name drop. But yeah, he commented on one of my posts about site surveys. And he's like, "Well, how's the office supposed to get visual confirmation?" And I'm
Everyone
like,
has
right?
this.
Like, I told him, I said, like, right? Like, who am I to expect them to make a phone call to the contractor? Like, my bad. You know what I mean?
I
I'm
mean,
like,
everyone
right.
carries this little thing that takes really cool pictures and
Yeah, bro.
videos. I'm like, I told my office, like, dude, make them text you or email you a picture. I was like,
Bro. But for me,
I'm
for
not
the
doing
haters,
this.
sarcasm is my friend.
Oh, dude. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you
I
this.
always,
One of my they cut you off. One of my favorite posts that you made, it was like, ladies, I guess you post about like dudes that be going into your DMs with like random stuff, and you're just like, nah, like get out of my DMs, nah. And I'm like, that was funny. That was funny as crap to me.
oh, yeah. Yeah. You know what? Ever since I made that post, they stopped doing that too.
Oh, you got to let people know.
Yeah, there's definitely some weirdos out there, man. I don't know. I don't know how women do it on Instagram and everything else. I hear horror stories. It drives me nuts, man. It makes me want to slap people.
You know, the way, I don't know if it's just how I grew up or what, but like that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. Like chauvinism and like dudes just being like bad old school.
Mm-hmm.
I can deal with any of that. But actually for me the hardest part about being a woman in the trades is that you can't really have any male friends. And you know, of course you can, like, there theoretically you could. There are people out there, right? But it's like I wouldn't care so much if it was a female dominated trade, because then it's like, oh, if you can't be friends with the guys, it's like whatever. But it's like, if you can't have male friends in a male dominated trade, then you pretty much don't have any friends in the trade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can
And
imagine if you were in a female dominated trade, you wouldn't have to set boundaries. And that's the weird part probably for you, is that you have
yeah,
to set boundaries so people don't they don't
yeah,
take things to, try anything funny. So
yeah.
it sucks.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. And then like some guys, like we would be friends, but their wives are all jealous or crazy or whatever, and you know, they don't want them talking to a female that they work with or whatever. And so I just like, oh, okay, I guess we're not friends, or we can't be friends because your wife is like jealous. Fine.
Oh, that's funny.
That's happened a lot before. I mean, right now, I don't really work with a lot of people anyway because I'm just by myself. But when I was working for companies, that was definitely a factor that played into it.
So Rachel, you said you had a lead installer. Is that someone you just contract sometimes if you had more work than you can handle on your own, and or is it just someone that's on payroll, or is it just a regular employee? You said you work alone, so
Yeah. Well, he's it's a complicated relationship. He's on payroll, but he also kind of like does his own thing sometimes. I don't know.
okay.
We're still trying to figure it out. My business is new. It's just kind of it's a recent thing. So I'm trying to figure
So
out. I
so
don't
where do
really.
you find time to train for yourself? Do you take some downtime to get some updated modules in? The mini split companies you work with, do they have updated trainings you can take at like Johnstone? Because I've taken classes at Johnstone now that I was looking at your hat, for
Yeah.
ice machines, for mini splits, for stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, before when I didn't have kids, it was easy. I would just go, right? Yeah. But now, I actually just started going back to work full time. Even though it looks like I work full time, I really don't. I really only work like have been doing like one job a month or something like that for the
Okay.
past 3 years or something, since
Wow.
my kids were born. And so yeah, so I really don't work a lot. But I just started going back to work full time with my kids they just started daycare. So now they're in daycare, and yeah, I just will be scheduling. I'll just schedule myself that day off so I could be able to do trainings.
So are you driving yourself nuts being at home? And do you like when you go out and get to just do your own thing? And
Oh yeah,
you
it's so good for my mental health to
Yeah.
work. I mean, I love my kids. I love staying home, but I'm not a stay-at-home parent. I'm just not domestic like that anymore. When I was 22, I probably could have done it. Like if I even remember thinking when I was 22, oh, it'd be nice if I could just be a stay-at-home mom like everybody else. But that didn't happen for me. I ended up getting into construction and spent so many years working and hustling and working, you know, swinging a hammer, that now that's what I can do. And I was essentially a stay-at-home parent for like the past 3 years, while still kind of doing HVAC, you know, where I could. And but yeah, it was really boring. It's really boring to be a stay-at-home parent. My kids aren't boring. They're fun. But just the whole like, you know, waking up and, you know, trying to get the kids ready and whatever, that whole thing is like boring.
yeah.
How
But
So you
old are
got
your
two.
kids?
they're 1 and 3 right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have 4 daughters, 10,
Oh, wow.
16, 23, 24. And I'll talk about my wife. My wife's military and she works at the VA. But during COVID, when she had to stay home, she almost killed me. She's not
She,
like she juggles a lot. She's kind of domesticated, but she has to work, and
yeah.
she juggles all this stuff. But I feel you, nobody, we all love our kids, but if we don't have to be around them all the time, we don't want to be around them all the time. I know this from a lot of experience.
Just
Yeah.
wait. They'll become teenagers and they won't want to be around you at all. So,
Yeah, my 2 oldest don't want nothing to do with me. So
I'm looking forward to the teenage years so I can get some free labor.
I don't know.
Right.
Yes, Pat's kids in the trade.
Yeah. So my oldest son, he's 21, and he actually works with me. So he's in some of my videos. He's like a blonde-headed kid. I call him my apprentice because he gets mad if I say who he is. So he's in some of my videos. But I've got an 18-year-old son. And I think he's going to be a plumber. I'm trying to find him a apprenticeship this summer to get started in that. So, but he wants to get licensed and own his own business. So he's got some health issues and he's trying to get it done early. So he's trying to figure it out early because he's not sure how long he can work. He's got some autoimmune issues and it affects his joints. So
wow.
he's 18 years old, but if he like gets up off the floor, he sounds like he's like 50. He's just popping and creaking already. And so he's trying to get something figured out pretty fast and see if he can't get a business and own a business pretty soon. So
Makes
Yeah.
sense. Kind of
Yeah.
be behind the scenes if he gets to the point that he can't actually work anymore. He don't have to
Yeah.
be in the field.
I mean, he's
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
it doesn't hurt or anything. It just pops, and he works out a lot, and he's pretty active. So, hopefully that takes care of a lot of it. So we'll see. But he sounds older than me. He gets up and he's like popping and creaking. I'm like, golly, kid.
Well, with you in his life, he's bound to be successful in whatever he chooses to do.
Yeah,
Thank you.
support is everything.
Yeah.
For sure.
I wasn't always a role model dad. I mean, I did a lot of things in the past. I worked too much. We didn't have money. I didn't make the money I make now, so I had to work a bunch, to get by. And I missed a lot of things. And the last 8 years, I try to make a point to be there for my kids and support them more. And hopefully, they see that now versus when they were younger.
Bro, I'm gonna just throw this out there on the, even though we're on the air and whatnot, don't beat yourself up over that.
Yeah.
And I deal with that crap
Yeah.
too, bro. But
Mhm.
at the same time, and we did what we had to do at that time frame. Like you said, y'all were broke, but you made sure your kids had food, they had clothes, they had diapers, they had what they needed, and you did what it took. So in my book, and I understand, the regret of looking back, like, man, I wish I spent more time with my kids. But in my book, that is a role model dad, because when push came to shove, you hit the road and you were grinding, barely sleeping, breaking your back to make sure your family was taken care of. So that is being a role model dad in my book. But
Thanks. Appreciate
just
that.
had to throw that out there. I know that's not what the podcast is about, but
It's about all that.
I mean, there are a lot of people out there who just wish that their dads loved them and wanted to be in their lives. So, I mean, I feel like that's really, really the main thing for kids is that they know that their parents love them,
right.
even
No,
if
absolutely.
they love them
Yeah.
perfectly.
My 2 oldest, different experience than my 2 youngest because I wasn't in the trades earlier. So I go through a lot of conversations with my oldest daughter, and she does compare, me being home for homework and weekends versus me working at the restaurant, 2 or 3 jobs, nights and weekends and stuff like that. So we all do what we got to do. I'd say you things happen when they're supposed to happen when they happen. So. And for yourself, you started, I don't know how old you are, you look young enough, but, I'm happy for you that you started your own business and, you're not crinked over and everything. And, hopefully if I ever start a business, I'm not going to be 50 years old. Rich is younger than me. We got to do what we got to do. And, at the end of the day, if you're there and you're present and you're trying to be there, that's the best thing you can do, and like you said, let your kid know that you love them and, it's a generational thing.
And one of the things that I believe, and I think this kind of looking back, on my childhood versus now, some things your kids aren't going to understand until they're in that position. So your kid might be 18 years old and might be like, man, why'd you work so much? But then when your kid's 25 and has his own 2 kids and his wife and his mortgage, he might be like, "Holy crap, my dad was great," or "My mom was great." You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
certain things you can't know until you're in that position. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
My son, he's 21. He owns a house. He's got a truck payment. He's engaged, and he thinks he's got it so easy. I'm like, you don't have kids. It's like when the kids is like a totally different dynamic, man. It's like you don't worry about yourself anymore. You care more about them. You do your own well-being. You just do whatever it is. So, he just typical 21-year-old. He's making good money and doesn't have any bills really besides a couple of car payment, house payments. So he thinks he's got it made and got life figured out.
And we all been there though. At one point or another, we all been there. But let's not take the focus off of Miss Mini Split over here, because she started asking us questions and stuff, and I'm like, hold on, what?
It's great though. It's great. So you do installs, maintenance, repairs, everything. So
Yeah. Today I was just doing a regular swap out and duct work. I was in the attic all day today, running ducts for probably a 1,500 square foot house. Probably not even that, maybe 1,200. Yeah. Before
probably $1 million house.
yeah, in San Diego, it probably was.
Oh, I was just kidding, but okay.
California problems, man. California problems.
No.
I'm in Florida, so
Florida's the new California, bro.
That's
it's
awesome.
crazy down there.
I find that offensive.
Wow.
Just kidding.
Wait, we're not talking politics, are we?
So, were you born and raised in California? Then you always been there? Or?
Yes, I was. Yeah, born and raised here. Pretty much Southern California. Although for some reason people always say that they think I seem like I'm from Northern California. I still don't really know what that means. Maybe I seem like a pothead. I'm not sure.
Are you Latina?
I'm Filipina.
Oh.
Yeah, see, if you were here for the pre-show, you would know that already, bro. But I thought the same thing. I thought she was Latina too.
Yeah.
Until she said
then you said Southern
Filipina.
California. I'm like, all right, she's Latina. Okay. Wait, Filipinos are Latinos.
They're basically Latinos. They're the Latinos of
You
Asia.
see Joe Coy?
The Filipinos of Asia.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the Mexicans of Asia.
Exactly.
Latinos of Asia.
Does the HR department approve of that comment, Jason?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You
HR
can
approved.
say it if you are one.
Yeah. Jason's our HR department. Anytime I go on a rant during the day, he's like, man, Pat, I'm going to write you up for that.
That's another reason why I work better not at a company. For HR, it's better for the HR.
I'm the HR of our group. Like, are we angry today? Should we have posted that?
If I'm silent, it's because I'm thinking, I probably shouldn't say that out loud.
Yeah, these guys are thinking with their fingers, man.
I never have the thought of I probably shouldn't say that. I say it, and then Jason is like, Rich, I'm gonna need you to take it down.
It's too late. It's too late. It's out there.
It's out there. Don't mess up the algorithm.
Be like, sorry, bro, I got too much engagement to take it down.
Brian says that Filipinos can cook. But I'm only half Filipino, so I can't cook, but I like to feed.
Nice.
That's funny.
Nice.
Brian. So do you work with primarily just one manufacturer, or will you just do them all, or how's that work?
Yeah, right now I'm with AC Pro.
Okay.
But I'll install. I have experience with it, and will install whatever brand is best for the situation. For the most part, I mean, AC Pro is great, unless they just need something specific that another brand might provide. But so far, I haven't really encountered that, unless it's like the customer or their GC is like, hey, we want to do Fujitsu or something like that.
Nice. I have no mini split experience. I installed a cheap Pioneer in my barn, in my office, my wife's craft room. That's the only mini split I've ever done, and it works, so I can't complain. But I'm in a cold environment, so it was hating life. A couple weeks ago when it got really cold, it was defrosting like 3 times an hour, and it was miserable.
Oh man.
Man.
Yeah. So they're pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I like them. They were easy to do while I was pregnant and doing kind of like the stay-at-home mom sort of thing. That was why that was why I was like, oh, I'm gonna be Miss Mini Split because it's easy.
They're cool.
Yeah.
I like them. I see a lot of guys putting them in, and the technology is getting better and better every day.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. I think I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do out my big section of my barn. I don't know if I'm just gonna do a multi-head system or if I'm gonna do a traditional ducted system. I haven't figured it out yet, but who knows? Jason, you don't have any mini split experience, do you?
I don't. And every time I'm sent out on one, I feel some kind of way. I'm just like, I haven't had one class years ago, and it just doesn't apply to what I'm running into now. And I'd have to be honest, if turning off the breaker and waiting 30 minutes doesn't fix it, it needs to be escalated to somebody else. I'm just
Yeah.
going to tell you that right now. But for some reason, half the time, I just go cut the breaker, wait 30 minutes, turn it back on. It's working. I'll clean it, do a PM on it, and that fixes it half the time. But I've never really had to change anything out on these things. It's just like, all right, just just
for the first
tap
for
on
the
wood, do a little dance. It works, and it's just like, I'm the shit.
Yeah, for the most part, it's usually something real simple or basic, and if it's not, then you just call tech support.
If you can get a hold of them.
My mini split experience.
Mitsubishi.
I've worked on one unit at the Lord's Chicken, and I don't know, it wasn't working. I went there, couldn't get a hold of tech support. I pressed some buttons, and it's been working ever since. That's my mini split experience right there, bro. And then when I walked in to follow up, they're like, "Yeah, it's been great, man. What'd you do?" I'm like, "I don't know what I did. I pressed some buttons, and I figured it's either gonna work or blow up, and it worked."
I prayed for it.
Yeah, basically.
I can't give away trade secrets. Sorry, guys.
You just bypass the safety switches. That's all.
That's all you ever got to do.
You know what? I don't know a mini split person, but we do know one now. So we'll definitely be reaching out to you the next time I have a mini split problem.
I do have a question. So when you do an install, what surge protection do you use?
Whichever one that the supply house. I don't even know. I've never looked at it before.
Okay.
I just use whichever one that the supply house sells me.
Okay. I forget which one I used. I put mine in. I did the disconnect, and I did the surge protection. It's got brown out protection and surge protection, and it works pretty good until my power goes out, and I gotta wait 5 minutes for it to come back on. But
oh yeah, they have a recommendation of it. I don't know what their process of selection for them is, so I just go with that.
I didn't know if you had one you preferred or just went with them, so that's cool.
I think Megan just dropped some knowledge on me right here. Learn to program a mini split remote and you'll be a god to the customer.
Oh yeah,
lowercase G. Just wanted to put that out there.
My remote's pretty basic and boring. Can't mess that one up. So what's some of your favorite things to do? Do you prefer install, maintenance, or what do you prefer to do?
Yeah, I think install is a lot of fun. Service maintenance is boring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If someone's yawning.
No, hurt my heart, man. I'm the plant maintenance manager.
Well, it's just I'm not part of the reason why I liked HVAC is that it's not the same thing every day.
Yeah.
So when maintenance is kind of like that. It's
like maintenance ain't sexy. I get it.
Maintenance guys never do their job right anyway.
Like no one, whatever. I'll see you on the street, homie. The maintenance is like you're not the hero. You don't come in there clutch, but like I'm here to do maintenance. So like it's already working. Now you're gonna shut it down and make it hot in here. Like,
and now you're the guy in the way.
Yeah, now you're the guy starting problems instead of the person.
Sometimes maintenance guys make service techs the hero though, right? Because some maintenance guys go through and then we go in 2 days later and we're like, oh, they didn't actually clean the coil. Let's clean it right. And then the thing's working.
So, you better put some respect on maintenance's name, buddy.
Man, what are you doing? You're there to clean a coil and you don't clean it. What's your purpose?
You're there to find issues to prevent downtime in the future that prevents an over and after hours or weekend call and save the customer money. Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
Hey. Hey, this is the Rachel show, not the beat up on the planned maintenance show. Okay.
Right. So I did I did a PM today, and it was like at a coffee bar, and like I was like, I'm sorry, I had to pull this stuff out. And she's like, no, go ahead. She's like, I'm just gonna tell everybody I can't make coffee. So I was her hero for the morning.
So it's being cleaned.
Yep. That's great. So yeah, maintenance can get kind of boring. I see that. My installs are probably 5% of what I do, and then I'm probably 93% service and 2% install. I mean, 2%
Well, you have to be a lot
PM.
smarter to do so
Mm-hmm.
than you
Service.
have versus install.
Yeah, I could see that. Services, man, I work on so much stuff. I don't know how different all the mini split manufacturers are. I just know my world. There may be 40 different manufacturers for a particular type of equipment, but they all do them different ways, different boards. I mean, they all turn on the same way pretty much, but past that, everyone has their own way to do it. Is mini splits the same way where everyone kind of does their own little thing?
There's really not much to it. You clean the coils and clean the filters. What else is there really? Check everything. Make sure it's like everything. There aren't any wires that are doing something crazy.
Megan spitting more knowledge.
Friendly reminder: always split your coils.
Yeah, that's an important one.
Yeah, I had
so
a guy.
Satisfying.
The first time I learned about splitting coils on a rooftop, I was like, "Do what?" I was like, "We're gonna do what?"
Coil cleaning actually is one of my favorite things to do because it is so satisfying.
It is oddly satisfying.
Yeah,
like you spray the cleaner in there and you just watch it push all that gunk out, and you're just like, you just chill for a minute. You're like, okay.
And then you sit there for like 10 minutes, rinsing it out, watching all the dirt come out.
You people are horrible. Like maintenance this, maintenance that. Oh, but it is satisfying. That's abuse.
And then when you go to bed at night, you review your pictures and you're like, before, after, and then now
yes,
I'm
all about them pictures.
So Fred says maintenance can be boring, but it's a great opportunity to gain more knowledge on the equipment, go through sequence operations, etc. Exactly. Yep.
Operations.
That's a good point. That's why a lot of companies start off, starting guys in the PM and the maintenance area, because they can go through and they can learn the equipment, and they can get a lot of knowledge that way before they move up to the next level. So I agree 100%. We got Adrian in the house. We got you guys coming in.
Adrian.
So any big projects coming up, or you just kind of do just as it comes and goes, or?
I have a mini split project that I might be doing. I think it's like 8 apartments in an apartment building, and each apartment is a 3-zone.
Wow.
And then I have like this huge house down in Coronado. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at the comments. Adrian flicking me off again.
Oh.
Sorry.
Do you follow Reliable HVACR, Rachel? He's a common.
I do, on Instagram. Yeah,
that's
Adrian.
He's mad at me for going live and taking his audience, so he keeps flicking me off.
Oh.
So do you what brand line hides do you use? Just whatever supplied, or do you have a specific brand you use for that, or?
Sorry?
Line hides, do you have a brand you recommend or you use, or exclusive, or do you use whatever?
No, I'm not really, I don't really have a preference. My supply house just switched from Speedy Channel. They were carrying Speedy Channel and Diversitech, and now they're carrying that new one that has the bendy 90s. It's the same brand. I can't remember what it's called, but it's the same brand that I think what's his name uses in his videos.
Is it INA something, or?
Yeah.
I can't ever say it right. So
yeah, I can't remember, but yeah, it just has more. It's more modular than Diversitech or Speedy Channel. So now I'm gonna be using that brand again. I just use what my supply house sells, what they offer. That way I'm not going to this supply house, that supply house to get different things, and they pretty much only carry, one brand of everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it gets to be that way. So
Need some water, Pat?
So
Yeah, I need some
what are
water.
the issues that you see in the field? Like, because like my videos are constantly highlighting, crappy work and lousy technicians. What's a lot of the stuff that you see where you think in your field people need to do better?
Oh yeah, yeah. The problem out here is that HVAC is so expensive, and there's like such a wide range of income levels, and that the sun's kind of going down, so you guys are kind of like, I feel like it's getting dark on my end. That there are a lot of like hacks out here, and people who are, I don't want to say that they're unlicensed. Because there are a lot of people who are licensed who are hacks, too. But yeah, just I guess the hacks, they just don't care. There's just a lot of people out here that are trying to collect a check and run, and they're just cutting as many corners as possible. From not using line set covers at all to not pulling any sort of a vacuum whatsoever. Sometimes just purging it, and not, I don't know, everything that you can think of. I see a lot of it all the time, just not I don't know, even things like not put the way that they install, like cut holes, like they don't make things, some people don't make things like level or square, when they're putting in registers. It's crazy out here.
That's
There's nothing that I
nuts.
don't see that isn't messed up.
So do you find
Right.
yourself getting jobs to fix other people's work?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's like 20% of my calls.
Damn.
Wow.
Man, they're keeping you in business, but they've robbed someone first, and that sucks.
Yeah, it's really sad out there.
All right. So we'll get going on chat. Anybody else in here causing trouble?
I'm gonna see if I can get turn a light on here.
We can see you. Actually, we can see you very
Yeah,
well.
we see you fine.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, it looks. It's actually a lot clearer now than it was when the sun was out earlier. For at least on my screen, looks good.
Well, just let me know if I need to turn a light on, because it looks really dark.
So Fred has a question. He wants to know, what brand do you recommend for mini splits?
Really, any brand, as long as you're buying it from a supply house. It doesn't really, because there are a lot of brands that they sell on through websites.
Like Mr. Cool. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Pioneer like mine.
Yeah.
Aren't you the one telling me not to name drop all the time, Jason? What was that?
I'm sorry.
Everybody hates on Mr. Cool. Don't worry about it.
I don't know. I just see it online. It makes it look like they're like, anyone can do it. You don't need anyone to do it. And it's like, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, you know what? I actually signed up to be a Mr. Cool dealer, right? But not because I am pro Mr. Cool or whatever, but I'm signed up, and I put that that you can. I've never had somebody like actually try to buy the equipment from me. They always want to buy the equipment and the install, so I just price it the same as I would normally, but yeah, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
If you're trying to do a DIY, then it's nothing but the Mr. Cool thing is nothing but a hassle, no matter which way that you go or whatever. And I pretty much end up always just installing my own brand and not the Mr. Cool brand, because I'm like, if you're gonna hire me to install it for you anyway, then you might as well just let me install the brand that I install.
So the Mr. Cool line sets are pre-charged, right? And they have those, like the ice machine line sets where they're pre-charged, and they have like the push in when you tighten them down, they just push in.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So that's why everyone always just leaves it all coiled up in the attic or behind the unit and oil trap city and everything else.
That drives
Oh,
me
yeah.
nuts on ice machines on walk-ins. That drives me out of my mind. Y'all know that already.
Oh, I cut them. I cut them every time. I'll charge them back up.
That's what I do.
There's a chart on there that tells you, for so many feet length, this much refrigerant. I mean, it's pretty easy to do. You pull a vacuum on it, it'll suck in what it needs pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So Lee Jesse Sinez says, what if he bought one off Amazon? So he's building a container shop. It's 1,000 square feet, he said. But dude, I'd put a mini split in a heartbeat if you got it insulated. I mean, I wouldn't be against it at all.
Yeah, I mean, if you do HVAC and you want to buy one online, then that's one that's one thing, because you know what you're doing and you know what you're getting yourself into. But if you're like a homeowner, then I would just go through, make sure that whoever you're hiring is buying it from a supply house. Yeah.
It's good information. Yeah. Brand they can stand behind and has support, and you can get parts fairly easy and stuff like that.
All that stuff. Exactly. Yeah. Not like Mr. Cool, where it takes like 6 months to get a part.
So you're not trying to work for them.
No. I think I should have clarified the whole like being a dealer thing. It's kind of like,
it's kind of just to get the inquiries from the people that you can go do whatever.
It was more out of
free lead
curiosity,
generation,
just to see what's going on.
Okay, I see what it is.
Yeah, I'm not but don't tell them. I'm sure they're not watching anyway.
They don't like me. I don't have
I hear the same viewers. I hear the same thing from a lot of people though about Mr. Cool. Like a lot of people won't work on Mr. Cool.
Exactly.
I hear a lot that homeowners put it in, it goes down instantly or within a month. They can't get parts. They can't get a hold.
They blew the charge.
It's nothing but a hassle.
Yeah, and then a lot of people spend the money on Mr. Cool, then turn around and hire somebody, like you, to go ahead and put in a completely different system with real warranty, real support, and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, live and learn.
All right, now it is getting dark.
Okay.
I love seeing them in the Facebook groups, and they go in there and they like the AC or the HVAC Pro Facebook groups, and they ask questions about their Mr. Cool system they bought, and people just roast them. I'm like, come on, guys. I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny.
I'm never getting a Mr. Cool now. Thanks a lot, guys.
You're welcome. We saved you a lot of money.
If you can make a flare, you can put in whatever you want, buddy.
Yeah,
basically.
We got studio lighting now.
Yeah. it's all or nothing, you guys.
Heck yeah.
So when I put mine in, I kinked one of the line sets, and I used a press fitting, and like everyone lost their mind. Why didn't you just?
God, now I can't see at all. I'm trying to figure this out. Sorry, but yeah, you were saying? I'm listening.
No, I used a press fitting, and everyone's like, "Why didn't you braze?" Or why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do this? And I was like, well, because if I put a press fitting on there, everyone loses their mind and comments on it. So yeah.
Have you gotten around to messing with press fittings yet, Rachel? I haven't.
Yeah, no, I haven't, but I would really like to get a press. I'm planning on getting one in the next 6 months.
Any brand in particular, or just whatever you can?
Well, Milwaukee, really? Oh, okay.
The jaws are prepared.
Hold on, Rich.
The jaws. You can use any tool. You just have to get the jaws for whatever fitting you go with. So, say if you go with RLS, you have to make sure all your jaws are RLS jaws. If you go with someone else, you got to make sure all the jaws. It's just whatever brand you stick with. Make sure the brand's in your area, or you can get it brought in fairly fast, and go with that one.
Yeah, I was planning on checking out RLS as a number one, but I really haven't done any research towards it yet at all.
They're the original. I have them. I use their stuff all the time, and it works out really well. I mean, they're just the original. So that's just what I've dealt with, and they're a pretty good company to deal with. So
yeah.
RLS is strictly refrigeration and HVAC, right, Pat?
Yep.
And then Viga does plumbing and
plumbing.
Yeah,
yep.
we did a dishwasher install at a hospital, and we don't have press tools, but the hospital maintenance had press tools, and since we had to use a burn permit, the head of maintenance was like, "We'll just give you our press tool to use. Y'all just go get all the fittings." And I was like, Yeah, I mean, as far as tools go, that's the closest thing to a drug that I've seen when it comes to tools, bro. It was like 1.25 inch copper that we're pressing and stuff, and I'm like, if I was the type of guy that steals, that press tool might have ended up missing.
Yeah, I tried one at the AHR Expo, and I was like, man, this is awesome. Awesome. Speaking of AHR and expos, I know you got kids and you're busy and you're a business owner. You might want to next year. It's in Orlando. It's pretty far from you across the country, but it would be a great experience for you as a business owner in the HVAC. It's networking, and you get to try out all these different products, and there's just a lot of opportunities as a business owner to make some great connections and try out a lot of different tools and things like that. So I wanted to extend an invite next year in February. AHR is going to be in Orlando. All of us are going to be there. A lot of us are going to be there in the industry, men and women and different coalitions and things like that. RLS will be there. Just a lot of people. So I just wanted to put that there. I don't know if you've been out there, and if you do want to go, make some mini split stickers. I want to get some. So.
All right.
2 years it's in Vegas, so if you can't make Orlando, it's too far. Yeah, 2 years it's in Vegas, so that's a good time. So.
I'll think about it. It's hard to get me to want to fly more than 3 hours.
Yeah, that'd be a long flight.
I've never been to Vegas. I need a reason to go. So
I'll never miss Vegas.
Is it going to be in Vegas eventually?
The 2 year after, 2026. It's always in January.
I'll go
February.
to that one.
26 or 25.
I'm definitely at the one in Vegas. I don't know about Orlando.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. So we still need Jason's first AHR experience podcast episode. Well, the first podcast we did could not be used. The audio was terrible when we were on Mechanical Hub. So fortunately, that one got scrubbed. I did release the one we did with Rigid and RLS. That was released 2 weeks ago, and then I'm waiting on the audio for the other one with the Viper Vixens, HVAC Ash and Becca from Refrigeration Technologies. There was a little mix up in my audio, so that should be coming out here fairly soon as soon as I get the audio and get it edited up. So.
I think what she means is an episode about my experience.
Like a recap how he did there, and why my image and likeness wasn't brought there as it was supposed to be.
Oh, my bad. There's probably some stories he doesn't want getting out from that.
What happens in no, I'm just kidding. It's not like that, but
I don't know. It sounds like it's like that.
it can be like that. It can be like that. My wife always goes, so I'm not in trouble, and I'm in bed early.
My wife's going to the next one.
Yeah,
and
that says a lot about your first one.
I'm done. What time is it? It's 9 o'clock.
It's getting close.
Rachel,
close.
You are an awesome guest. Thank you for coming on. Let's drop some. Let's do a recap here.
So, yeah, I've been following you for a while, and I appreciate you really coming on. I'm looking forward to seeing some more content now that you're going to be back out there more and more often and doing more stuff. So I'm sure you can tell some more stories and things you run into in your day. So. But thanks for coming on. You want to tell everybody where they can find you if you want them to find you. If not, we understand that too.
Yeah, your different platforms.
My address where my house is.
She has a big machete. She has a big machete. Just I'm telling you.
It's the
disclaimer. She carries a machete.
No, she's half Filipino. She's got a flip flop. She ain't playing with a chocolate.
She got a flip flop and a machete.
It's right here.
That's funny. That's great. But no, you will give them your social handles if you want people to follow you on. I know you're on
TikTok,
Instagram, and TikTok for sure.
Yeah, it's all MissMiniSplit, all of them.
Sweet,
awesome.
So if you're in the San Diego area and you need some mini split installs or work done, make sure you hit her up.
MissMiniSplit, yes.
Yeah, or if you just want to get some coffee and a beer.
There you go.
I'm the boss, so I can take off.
But if you're a weirdo, stay out of her DMs.
Exactly. Exactly. We'll have to connect her with Megan and them.
Yep.
And HVAC chicks. Those girls. Do you know? Have you follow HVAC chicks?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I've hang. Yeah, Jen's awesome. She's from the same town my wife's from.
Oh
So
no
when
way.
so when I go to Maine, we went bowling. We're gonna be in Maine for a family thing in
Oh
March. We
wow.
hope to see her, but like her and Val, awesome
Yeah.
people to hang out with and have some drinks and go bowling and just great community. Great community.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what? I was actually gonna send Jen some of my breast milk because our babies are the same age.
Oh,
But it didn't work out. It didn't, and it was a good thing because when it didn't work out, and then I was gonna give it to my baby, but it had gone bad or something. I think that my freezer that I was keeping it in had defrosted or something.
oh.
And the
that
three
just-
of us
that
had
just-
no idea how to respond.
That just went to another level. I
Yeah.
love it. And that's
we
what this
had no
show
idea
is
how to
about.
respond.
And
We
that's
had no
what this
idea how
show
to
is
respond to
about.
that one.
No, I can't say nothing. I
That
will
was a
say
great
that
close to the episode.
I will say that I worked at a place called the Milk Bank, and it was a place where women would donate breast milk, and we had to work on their coolers and dish machines and stuff. So
I didn't know that was a thing where you can donate.
Yeah. I had no idea.
Or you could sell it for $2.50 an ounce to bodybuilders.
Okay, we're gonna have to keep this episode going.
That's awesome.
An hour. What is that about?
Hey, this is the most interesting episode I've been on so far. I love it. Thank you for making it. Yeah.
And she saved it to the end. We got to know about that. We're gonna go past an hour today.
So Megan was here, so Jen missed out, and a couple of the other ladies. They could have jumped in the comments and been more relatable. We're talking about breast milk now.
All Phase loves your name there, Rich, by the way.
Yeah, that's my buddy Andrew.
Yeah. So, all right, we're going to wrap this up, but I appreciate everything. And, oh, wait, we forgot. You were nominated,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
For Lady of the Trade, or I think it's
Yes.
Yeah, surprisingly. I couldn't believe that. I knew I was going to be nominated. I didn't know that that's what it was going to be for. I thought it was. I didn't even know what the topics were. I didn't know what the possibilities were. I thought it was going to be like, oh, newest Instagram person or something. I don't know.
Rookie.
Yeah.
She
Well,
tried.
that's part of the whole AHR, because AHR is always on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the HVAC Tactical is the Sunday before that. So if you did go to Orlando next year or Vegas the year after, you definitely want to go and do the whole experience. Come in on the Sunday and do the red carpet and have that was a great networking experience for myself, being my first time to HR. I got to meet a bunch of people that I just follow. Like I follow you. That would have been awesome to meet you. And it's funny because I like to think I'm just on here putting videos, but people, I was kind of fanboying boys and different men and women. They're like, oh, I follow you, but people were doing it to me, and I was just like, okay, that's cool. But it's a really great to actually sit down, have a meal, and network and hang out with people that we follow and whatnot. And so that's an experience that Rich missed. And I had to guilt him, like, bro, there was a lot of people asking about you that wanted to see. Like, I wanted to see HVAC Jess from Canada. She wasn't there. So I missed out. Hopefully she'll go to the next one, and if you go to the next one or the year after, it's a great experience. And people do, even though you're just posting about the day in the life of what you do, it does inspire people. And for them to actually meet you is very impactful. So I just want to put that out there. Just like I told Rich, I want to tell you that too. It might be a little bit of your time and a little bit of a flight and whatnot, but you really don't know that one-on-one that can really impact somebody. Aside from them just following you online, you actually meeting someone, because you also attend the show and you get to go out of these booths and people will see you and they're like, oh my God, that's someone I follow, and they get to have 5 minutes of your time and you can tell them a little bit of your story, and you might change somebody's trajectory of where they want to be in life and inspire somebody. So I just want to leave that with you. So
Thank you.
No doubt.
Jason always comes in all serious and breaks it all down.
Yeah, right.
Whatever.
Mr. HR department.
Well, anyways.
All right. Well, we're going to end it now.
This has been a great episode, though.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for spending time with us and sharing where you are in life and where you're going. And there I go. I'm being serious again.
We look forward to seeing you more. And,
I was just going to say thank you for putting up with us, because we kind of go out in left field here and there. And
yeah, we could be a pain in the ass.
Oh, I'll go so far in left field. It's not even the same field.
Yeah, she'll go rounds with us, man. Like she'll put us. Yeah.
You want to go another hour?
No, I got work in the morning.
Okay.
I'm a morning person.
We need to have her, Jen, Megan, everybody. We need to have them on here. We'll have like
sounds
6
like a
screens on
dangerous
here. We'll equal it up. 3 girls, 3 guys, and
we
make it
won't get a
spicy.
word in, the 3 of us, but I'm
No,
cool with that too.
Well, let's test that theory.
We'll have to do that.
That's
All
a
right,
challenge to Megan and Jen. All right, guys. Have a
I'm
good
gonna-
night, y'all.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
end it now. I
Yeah,
appreciate
thank
you
you for
coming
joining
on,
us.
Rachel. Make sure you guys check her out, MissMiniSplit on Instagram, TikTok, and if you're in the San Diego area and you need some mini split work, hit her up. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
See you. If you guys would, please consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the podcast. It really helps us grow and helps us know which direction to move in. Also, if you have any suggestions for guests, please email me at commercialkitchenchronicles@gmail.com. Or if you want to be a guest, email me. Love to have you guys on. Thanks a lot. See you next week.